TV 1061, conceptualizing your ideas across the world and beyond. TV 1061, conceptualizing your ideas across the world and beyond. TV 1061, conceptualizing your ideas across the world.
Welcome everybody to the Talk Show Divas. We're so happy to have you guys here with us on this Sunday after elections. I'm your host Tamar, and let me introduce you to the rest of the lovely ladies.
Hi, Tamar. How are you?
Roselle.
I'm Roselle Pompey, and I'm going to toss it over to this wonderful diva.
Hi, you beautiful people. I'm Miss Shalal Mawar.
And hello, my name is Renee Jackson.
Well, ladies, hey, we're coming off of the election, and there's so much we're going to get to. The whole show is basically going to be around the election. But the first thing I want to start off with is the results, ladies. Were you guys surprised?
No, I wasn't. No. I'm one of those people who I just get this little, like when Barack was running in 2008, everybody's like, oh, I don't think he's going to get it. And I was like, calm down. I have a gut instinct. He's going to win. And I had the same instinct.
You had the same
this time.
feeling?
Same.
Good.
So it was like, I could feel that there's change that need to happen this year, and that people were ready for it and were mobilized.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
I felt that. I felt that energy. So no, I wasn't surprised.
What about you, Michelle?
Excuse me. I don't think I was surprised either because we did a lot of groundwork as far as in the last 4 years as far as voter registration, especially here in the state of Georgia. Stacey Abrams led the charge to mobilize, I think, over 600,000 new voters.
800,000.
Thank you for the correction.
Woo,
800,000
shout out to Stacey.
voter registrations that were possibly denied in the previous governor election. So I think that's what really had this most significant impact in here in Georgia was the mobilization of voters who may have previously been suppressed.
Yeah.
Great.
Fantastic.
What do you think, Renee?
What I think and how I felt about it is that when, I think it was over the summer in August, when Joe Biden said to Kamala, you know, I've decided that I like you to join me in this effort to take back the soul of the country.
Ooh.
Wow.
And for you
That's
to be
powerful.
my next vice president. He had already claimed it. And when you speak to the soul, it's nothing like speaking to someone who knows their soul.
Yes.
And the last 4 years have been kind of soulless.
Soulless, I
So
was
to
gonna
get
say
your
this.
soul back, you will fight to the bitter ends to get your soul back.
Yeah.
And that's what I believe that the American people, they did.
Yeah.
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 What are you guys, what we're hearing now is black women put on that cape, and she brought it home, and we actually brought it home. We're hearing that a lot, that basically it was the sisters and the hard work, the groundwork in all the cities. And what was so amazing is the major black cities were the epicenter that we were kind of waiting to decide this. Georgia, they were waiting on us if we were going to turn blue. And then Philly, we had Michigan. I mean, it was about us, our vote.
Yes.
That's That's powerful.
Yes, and I think that's gonna help in the next 4 years. It's gonna help with our runoff elections that's coming up. We're gonna
That's
have
coming up, yeah.
definitely gonna have a runoff election for the Senate here in Georgia. So
yes.
I think once, and I think we were talking about this before the show, once people see that their vote does really count, and that just by Georgia turning blue for only thousands, or maybe 1,500 or less than 2,000 votes. We can really see that you can impact the change that you want to see as far as the American people. And the American people have spoken, here in Georgia, which has been previously Republican.
Yeah.
We are now Democratic state. And that's phenomenal to live during
Yes,
this
it
time to
is.
see something like that happen.
Well, like Stacey, to me, like we were mentioning before, one of the fascinating things about her is that she took a situation where she could have gone and just licked her wounds after
Yeah.
she lost in
Yeah.
2018 to say,
Yeah.
you know what, I'm going to make sure this doesn't happen to another candidate ever again.
Correct.
And how do we tackle this? And she went to the grassroots organizations. She also created her own organizations. And then she wrote a book about it. So she made it something that was terrible into an amazing situation where she is saying to us, this is what happens when you get organized, when you sit down and you go to the grassroots organizations and you speak to the people and you speak to the heart of the people and, like you mentioned before, the soul of the people. When you do
Yes.
that, you really touch people because now they're saying, this person cares about me.
Exactly.
So with her doing that groundwork, it spread like wildfire throughout the whole country. And it's impacting the world because people are now like, who is this woman that, is coming in here and she speaks with power and grace and from a loving place. That's what I love her. I'm a fan. I'm a fan.
That's one of the things that I'm very proud of is how Black women are centered in this election. Most of the time when we're centered or when there's a conversation or when there's headlines, they're not kind to us. It's usually negative.
Correct.
Or it's on something that's not as consequential as this was. But to actually have a VP that's a woman of color, and what Stacey Abrams did, it basically showed them, don't play us short. You can't,
Right.
you can't,
Right.
you can't count us out. We are the soul of our communities.
That is true.
We are the
Our
matriarchs of our families.
Our
I mean,
families, yes.
you can't sell us short. So I hope a lot of states, I hope
We were talking
government
about that.
they're taking notice.
Yeah.
And what I really love is for regular people like us to get into politics.
Yes.
I would like someone that I know that's my neighbor to be a candidate that's running for something because I think we have a pretty good grasp on what's important.
Yeah.
Our family, our children, jobs, education, taxes. I mean, because most
Health.
women run they do all the household work, all the I guess you
Budgeting
call it
and-
budgeting,
Finance,
all the
budgeting,
financing,
yeah.
the
Planning.
budget, the planning
Yeah.
of everything.
And and a lot of times those
Absolutely.
conversations are left to men, but
Because we're innate like that.
yeah,
It's an innateness.
it
You
is.
know what I'm saying?
Just
It's an innateness
yeah.
to be able to take care and hold down our own.
What do you think
So many
about
facets.
what do you think about the Republican women? That's what I wanted to talk about.
The ones that 51% voted
Yes.
for Trump, white women.
Yes, I want to
Right.
address the Republican woman because I believe what they're going to see with what happened in these swing states, where Black women were leading the charge to help with voter registration, getting unsuppressed, getting people's
Yeah.
votes unsuppressed. What do you think that the thought of the Republican woman is now? Do you think they're going to change their approach to try to gather, a new base, or what do you think is going to happen?
Oh, that's a tough
Yes,
one.
that
I don't
is
know.
tough.
that is a tough one.
Yeah.
I can't grasp it. I can't understand as a woman voting for a man that once said, even though we're supposed to give people for their past,
Yeah.
grab them by the P.
Yeah.
I can't. My brain cannot conceive how I could ever vote for a man that would say that, or the way how he sexualized all women, including his own daughter.
Yes.
Exactly.
That is the
That's
most.
That's pretty potent. Right
And to even talk
Repulsive.
about people that with handicaps.
Oh,
issues
forget
and,
about
and
it.
just
he's
the
very
whole
disrespectful.
gamut of,
I think
of that.
overall, I think the American people deserve someone who has poise, grace, who is not a fly out the handle type of person. There needs to be somebody who runs our country who is level-headed. And I think, even though Trump has, what is it, 75 million Republican voters or whatever, we just didn't get a quality president out of him. It was just, everything was just overshadowed by all the negative things that he did.
Yeah,
that is true.
And he was a president that just brought out to me. So, I have another perspective that I wanted to put out there.
Okay.
He exposed the ugliness that we were told it doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Racism doesn't exist
I
anymore.
wanted to touch on that too,
Okay?
yeah.
So he exposed, to me, it was necessary for America to see the ugliness so that we know how to heal and what to heal.
That is
Because
true.
if you come in and, oh no, we don't have racism. What are you talking about? It's in your head. What are you saying?
Post-Obama, everybody thought that was not an issue anymore.
Calm down.
Yeah.
Even before Obama.
Way before.
Way before. Oh, that's stuff that our forefathers did. Why should we pay the price for something our great-great-grandfather did? No, it's still here, and we are seeing it every single day, and this man ripped the blanket off to expose the ugliness that is here in this country. And I'm, for one, in a weird kind of way, I'm kind of happy that we were able to see that this is it. Now it's time to heal.
Roselle, I have to agree with you because I prefer to know who a person is. And a lot of people were saying, this is not America, this is not us. Yeah, it is us. Let's just be honest. They wanted to say that Trump created this.
No.
The reason that Trump was elected is because of this. It is because of the racism. He fed into law and order. He fed into the others are going to take something away from you. And when you use certain code words, he knew exactly what he was doing. That's when his base galvanized.
Correct.
Absolutely. So so the fact that we know the race was so close. A lot of people were saying, "Oh my gosh, I'm surprised it's so close."
No,
that
I wasn't
basically-
surprised by it being.
That basically says 50% of Americans have very deeply rooted racist views.
Yes.
That's
or views that they don't see are racist.
right.
I have a lot of friends that are Republicans, and they don't see
They don't know
that their
they don't.
views or their support of very far racist politicians that you can pull their track record and
Yeah,
say
absolutely.
this is racism, this is what they did. They just seem to have a blind eye and say no, that's not happening. They live in their white privilege or whatever and think that that's not happening.
Intentional? Do you think they don't know? Because some people
I
say
think it's
they
a
really don't know.
subconscious. I think it's a
Do you-
subconscious thing because you think about it. You grew up seeing
Insulated in an
white
insular environment.
heroes on TV. Okay, you seeing the most successful people are white.
Correct.
Okay.
Education.
And yes, your education. So you don't know any better. You're not saying, oh, this is, but it's like a subconscious, deep-rooted thing. However, in 2020, there's so much information out there. You can see clearly something's not right here. Why is it? And then you have corporations that say, oh, we don't have talented black
Representation.
employees,
Yeah.
so therefore we can't promote you to a certain. That's deep rooted
And
that
it's
they
been
don't.
there.
They're not even aware.
Let me interject just really quick. That is the entire plot, because it's by design.
Yeah.
It's never by mistake.
I agree with you on
And
that,
I think
Renee.
it's been that way since the very beginning of time. Just how our whole country was created off of
Correct.
rape, robbing, stealing,
Yeah,
and killing.
yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
The whole country.
Yeah.
But when someone else does it, we're going to lock you up. But it's okay that's
Yeah.
how this country was built.
So how do you?
And so the mentality of other race of people has been ingrained and embedded.
Yeah.
But they still know, like you were getting ready to say, there are books out here.
Yeah.
There are integration. You're around other people of different ethnicity. So you know. but you still think subliminally somewhere that you are greater than or better than.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
inbred.
Oh, yeah.
It's inbred.
It's
Oh, right.
it's
This-
inbred.
This
It's
white supremacy.
Yes.
it's inbred, and we even our education system indoctrinates them to think that they're better than, because
That's
all
true.
of the heroes in the textbooks, they're white. You
Right.
have there's no mention of
Yes.
the inventions that blacks have invented. There's no mention of our African past prior to enslavement, because we were doing amazing things prior to coming to the American shores.
That's true.
So white boys and girls and our black children, that affects them. And you're being spoon-fed this for 12 years.
And they've used religion.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the foundation that
Yeah.
they've used. They use religion to support their white supremacy.
What do you think about what's the evangelist that's in the headlines right now surrounding
White?
Paula White surrounding this
Hold that
this,
thought.
ed-
Wait.
this election?
Hold on just a second. Hold that thought, Michelle. We're about to go to a commercial break. We'll be
Okay.
right back.
All right, thank you.
How can you find a reliable source of CBD products? Introducing Holistic Wellness Boutique, a revolutionary collection of CBD tinctures, CBD topicals, CBD edibles, CBD pet products, and other relevant CBD products that help you incorporate CBD into your everyday lifestyle. The best part? Through our special Radiant Transformations program, Dr. Alea Daniel, PharmD, a well-regarded wellness coach, licensed pharmacist, and the mind behind the idea of Holistic Wellness Boutique, will also introduce you to a healthier lifestyle through proper education, nutrition, and a thorough medication evaluation to make the most of our exemplary CBD products. If you are struggling with a chronic condition, we can help you discover how to live a more holistic lifestyle through wellness coaching and the proper selection of hemp-derived CBD products. Visit holisticwellnessboutique.com to schedule a consultation or order an audacious combination of hemp-derived CBD products that will rejuvenate your mind, body, and spirit.
Today's world exposes our youth to life experiences that are well beyond that which their years should allow. Violence, trauma, poverty, injustice. Our children's lives and their livelihoods are in constant danger. Wisdom Inc. is a community-based organization designed to save young lives by reducing violence and assisting youth in their personal development. Wisdom stands for wise individuals structuring and developing youthful minds. Through our collective wisdom, we can change lives for the better. Wisdom Inc. Reducing violence, developing youth, saving lives.
Welcome back, everybody. You're with the Talk Show Divas, and we're talking about the election results and all of the dynamics surrounding the election. One of the things that is standing out, or like everybody's paying attention to, the Trump administration has already filed multiple lawsuits throughout the country. They're going to challenge the validity of the votes. They're going to challenge basically everything. So as of right now, it's not official. It's not official that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are that they're in place as far as our president and VP. Basically, I think the Electoral College has to ratify the election, and they have till December 14th to do that. And he's also challenging possible recounts for the ballot. So
Yeah.
we're in for we're in for a battle right now, I think.
Yeah, he's digging. Trump is definitely going to dig in his heels. He
Yeah,
hasn't
he is.
conceded, even though
He hasn't,
it's
yeah.
been called, across the, all of the United States have called that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are the president and VP elect. So it's just going to be a tough, exit strategy.
We expected that with him, though, right?
Yes, definitely. The man said that he
said it.
He said it. So we're just waiting for the other shoe to drop. But of course, everybody around him is trying to get him to the point where he just gracefully bows out, because you're potentially wrecking anybody else's future political career, because this is going to be associated.
He is not
You don't know how to
quietly.
peacefully do the transfer of power. I mean, we're supposed to be the leader of the free world, right? But he has been exposing these dictatorship characteristics that there's a few countries out there that can relate. So people are feeling very uncomfortable right now as to whether or not he's going to just move on gracefully, or do we have to? Because look at the memes that are out there, dragging them out.
Yes.
You know,
U-Haul
parked in front.
parked in front of the White House.
truck parked in front. So yes, just to be able to be respectful in his character, to
It's just not there.
just to be a good sport and say,
He
you know,
doesn't
I'm
have
going to thank you, but in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and do this. Just the acknowledgement to Joe Biden is so
No,
disrespectful
it's-
to me.
yeah,
it's
it's
just
not
it
good.
lacks
He's a
it lacks so
disrespectful
much
man.
character for you, you know, and sportsmanship.
You're talking
You
about
lost.
you're talking about a rich man that has never been told no.
Okay.
He hasn't been told to leave the sandbox. The sandbox was always his.
Exactly.
Right.
He was the one that fires people. He doesn't get
Right.
fired.
You can
Right.
take the sandbox with you and go play it with somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? Because
So-
this sandbox over here is no longer yours.
Yes.
Have you guys found? There are a couple of states where they've thrown stuff out already. The
Yes,
courts
they
were like,
have.
nope,
no,
yeah, they
no,
were like,
no
nah.
validity.
We're not having it.
Arizona is one that has said that, you know, he filed an injunction for the votes to be recounted, and the counties that he requested denied the GOP their request.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Pennsylvania is going to be that state that we were talking about offline, where you have to have the people.
The people, I
the
like
people
that.
have to speak in Pennsylvania to say they want to recount. So the GOP can't go to any federal judge or judge in Pennsylvania and
that's
say,
good.
look, we want to recount. The people have to vote and say,
Oh, wow.
we want to recount. So
Yeah.
that was, you know,
That's
some
good.
things.
That's good.
things
But he has not presented any hard evidence.
Yeah, exactly.
Because he has none.
He just wants to be that guy that just the boy that cries wolf. Oh, they did this unfairly. I mean, what about all the talks of when you originally became president, right?
With Hillary having over
With
2
Hillary,
million
and then there's
population.
evidence to show that the Russians may have interfered.
Oh,
Correct.
yeah, definitely.
With
There's evidence of that.
No, but we don't want to talk about that, right?
Right.
We don't want to talk
And
about
we
He
don't
that.
never
talk about
acknowledged
it.
that.
That's
He
what.
never
That's why
acknowledged
when
that.
I look at, like I said, I definitely have a lot of Republican friends. When I look at them and I say, do you just wash all of that, like all of the filth? Do you just
Exactly.
wash that away and say,
excuse it?
This is excusable? You know, this is the first time that in the U.S. we have had such a sordid president.
Yes.
I mean,
Scandal after scandal after
scandal after scandal, and it's
Well,
like,
he,
you know,
he outdid Tricky Dicky, right?
yeah,
Right.
he is.
He's outdone
said
them
Nixon
all.
did.
Yes, he's outdone
Yeah,
them
but
all.
you know what we have to look at though, as far as voters, we have to look at that didn't matter to anybody. You know, like
Yeah.
his business practices, the fact that he only paid $750 in taxes, like all the things that, you know, a leader is supposed to have, those qualities, he just did not have them. But somehow he galvanized, you know, half of America to believe that he was the better selected person.
And you know how he did that though? He did that by playing what they always accuse us of. He played the race card.
Yes, and
let's
they-
just keep it real.
That's true.
He played the race card. And when you put that card on the table, you are going to see the Red Sea part. And
Exactly.
you're going to have a group of people on this side and a group of people on the other side.
And
That
he
is true.
played towards people's fears, right?
Exactly. That's
He
what-
incited
yeah.
a riot. He's a great guy to incite riot. And he gave his little sound bites. You know, let me push that button. I know what would trigger her. Let me
Yeah,
trigger. And
yeah.
then plus Republicans want to be wrong, even though they may. I mean, they want to be strong, even though they're wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
that's a great
being,
statement.
Being loyal to my party because mom and dad and granddad were all
Yeah,
Republicans.
yeah.
So for my self-interest, I'm going to remain a Republican, even though it's not right. Justice and equality was at stake here. Justice and equality, and being. Where's the heart of? Where's your heart? Like, there's people out here who are heartless, who are sitting here. It's okay for you to enjoy life, but nobody else.
No.
They're all
So-
in Congress. You guys, Martin Luther King said this, and I have to agree. If we are waiting on the moral conscience of white people,
We're in trouble.
we would have still been enslaved. We still wouldn't be able to vote. You know, if we were waiting for them to just have a heart or do what's right, it's just not going to happen. And you can't legislate morality.
You
can't.
cannot.
Now, and
Character.
people
None
are
of
gonna.
it.
I
That's
mean,
true.
if you're raising your children to believe a certain way that you get to go in, it's not equal, and you get to go in line first. Certain things they're taught, like we were just saying, they're inbred. And I think a lot of people in Congress they're so old. They have those really deeply racially. They have those same issues.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
And these are the people that are creating policy.
Yeah, and
That
we
is true.
talked about that
Yeah,
last
we
week.
talked about term limits.
Yes,
Oh,
it
really?
should be age limit too.
Age limits
Age
too.
limit.
I'm
Yes,
sorry.
yes.
I mean, Joe came out
oh,
though.
that's-
He did flex last night, and he was like, he was taking his jog
That's the
out
most
there.
energetic I've ever
70
seen
I
Joe,
was like,
guys, I
okay,
gotta say
Joe.
it.
But you know, my dad is 79, and we were talking about him on
Yeah.
the way here. He has so much energy. So I don't want people to say, okay, because you're old, that I have a problem. No, but I think you should make room for the youth to come in.
yeah.
Okay, and groom, because they are our future. If we sit there and
Correct.
wait until, then we get into the concern of that grooming the right candidate.
Yes,
If you don't
we ta-
give
yeah, we
room
talked
to
about that.
the youth,
Yeah.
we're not giving them that opportunity, right? Because we're just keeping it to that age group, and that's across the board. But if you are up to doing the job, because you know, like I said, there's people in their late 70s and 80s, 90s who are super sharp. I know personally in my family.
That's true.
But I do think the change of the old guard needs to happen.
Well, see, that was I had an issue with the Ginsburg. I mean, Ruth was too old. Her health was failing. I would really have weathered that seat to become vacant when we had a Democratic president in office.
Okay.
Versus,
And it could have happened.
And it could have happened if she would have stepped down.
Yeah.
But who did they have groomed? The Democratic Party didn't have anyone as far as who
What's
did they
the-
have groomed?
What's the guy that President Obama wanted to put in
I
her place?
cannot remember his name.
Because he was ready to go. I mean,
Yeah.
he was an excellent
Yes.
choice.
Yes.
They just didn't allow him to do it. They made
Because
him,
they wanted to have a woman, I believe, and they had the Democratic Party at that time didn't have.
It was a man that he
Yes,
that
yes,
he-
they didn't
yeah,
have
that's
a
true.
they didn't have a judge that they wanted to groom for the seat. And you know, I love her, but I follow along with your same sentiment. I think that guard should have been changed when Obama was
yes,
president,
yes.
and you know, not to let her, you know, exhaust and go through all, you know, God
'Cause
rest
she
her
was
soul.
sick. She was-
yeah,
she
she was
was-
very ill, and you know, like we do need to have, you know, vital and young people, more
Yeah.
young people. We talked about how
Yeah,
can we get more young
correct,
people
correct.
into
I
politics
agree.
and things like that. So.
Yeah, but back to that lawsuit situation. I mean, is that the reason why he pushed through
The Supreme
for
Court.
the Supreme Court
Yes.
to ultimately as a backup to the backup?
He's even said that if the results aren't what they want to be, the Supreme Court is going to make the decision, and they've already they sent out a resounding no.
Yes.
This is a state. This will be a state issue. The Supreme Court is not going to decide who the president of the United States is. So they've already taken it off the table. They did it this week. I'm not sure what he has up his sleeve, which may make them.
Well, I think it was taken off the table because there was no validity to it. It's just like if someone goes and says, hey, I'm going to file a suit against Mr. Johnson. 'Cause
Exactly.
I think he's going to break into my house.
I think so.
Because he keeps looking over here.
Yeah.
I think he's going to break in. So I'm going to go ahead and file a suit against him with no merit, no validity, no anything. And so they're looking at like, no, that you cannot do that. I don't even know how they even allowed it to even happen because he had no validity to file a case against an entire state. So it's been already thrown out. So there's
Right.
nothing that he can do. He has no evidence to prove. The proof of what he was trying to do has already been determined. They were saying they saw all these envelopes over in the trash can, and they were thinking that they were throwing away ballots. Well, they got wasted, I believe, the GBI's time and had them go through the trash can and look through, and they were just empty envelopes.
Wait.
Okay.
They were just empty envelopes.
So,
That was
you
it.
know, he might be surprised. If he wants to go that route, he may uncover how his people were
It may
cheating.
flip on him,
And
yeah.
yes. So
Exactly.
keep on digging.
Keep digging.
And you may be surprised what happens. But
Well, they said it's kind of impossible to even cheat. They said there's like, with the ballot counters, there's like 3 people watching over them. They have surveillance cameras.
Yes.
In
So
Philadelphia,
it's really guarded pretty
in-
much.
In Philadelphia, there was a regular person came on stage with Rudy Giuliani,
Yes.
and he said he was like the poll watchers. We didn't get close enough. We couldn't go over the. I mean,
You
he
couldn't.
was just saying that
Yes.
he felt like he should have been closer, or like basically leaning over their shoulder.
so he was lying?
No, he's just saying that he thinks
He
that
felt they
you
should have had more access.
more access
as
to
poll
them.
watchers. They should have basically been like, if you're standing here, just over your shoulder as you're going through the votes. And that's not how it's done. I think that they have them about four feet away.
Correct.
Yeah.
Well, we are in the middle of a pandemic, right?
They have not mentioned Corona at all.
Okay,
They were talking about
Corona
proximity.
is live and kicking.
Yeah.
So you are supposed to have social
Yeah,
distancing,
yeah.
and you practice that. So if I'm taking a poll, I don't want some strange person
Over my shoulder.
Over my shoulder.
Me neither,
You could give me this disease. I mean, this virus. So it's first of all,
They could care less about that virus. They wanted that vote.
And that is
So,
true.
like, wow.
That is true. Yes.
well,
You guys, we're about to pay some bills, so we'll be right back shortly, and we'll see you in a moment.
Good afternoon. I'm Lieutenant Elmer Horn with Douglas County Sheriff's Office, and we're here at one of our communities, and Sheriff Pounds is here with us. And Sheriff Pounds is very involved in his communities, and he come out. We brought out our grill and our smoker so we can come out and help cook for this community. And Sheriff Pounds himself has come out and helped cook with us, and he's here to cook and help these folks today.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is one of the programs that I call Taking My Community Back. If you don't get out there and get involved in your community, you ain't gonna be able to get it back. And the sad part about it, we losing our young men at such a pace that it's unreal. We got to come up with something that will help us with these children. Got to. So this is what I'm doing. I love it. I'm out here in the sun. It's hot, but like I said earlier, we're gonna do these until we get that gap between law enforcement and the community bridge. We're gonna bridge that gap because we're gonna get out here, we're gonna shake hands, we're gonna find out if they got any kind of problem we can assist them with, and invite them to the sheriff's office and come to the roll call. Just come see what's going on at the office. Thank y'all so much for being here.
Thank you, Sheriff Pounds. And like I said, this is just one of many events that we bring this grill out to help with our communities and get involved.
Are you an artist, a writer of spoken word? Do you have content ready but need exposure? Get to know me. I'm Alicia, host of a new Facebook live stream show called The Flavor, where we promote local and international talent of all genres. Here are some rules and regulations to the videos that we'll be accepting. They must be radio ready, no cursing, no lewd language. You must send us contact information as well as a YouTube link to your video so we can extract it from there. Email us at 1061tv@gmail.com. And we thank you for your time.
Welcome back to the Talk Show Divas, everyone. I wanted to give a shout out to our producer, Felix Barksdale, and Shantae is also, she's in charge of our social media. I also wanted to just give you a rundown of some programs that you can enjoy through the weekday with on our station. On Wednesday, we have The Flavor at 8 p.m. We have The Playlist at 9:30. On Thursdays, we have Bedroom Chronicles. You can't miss that. You got to check that out. Saturdays, we have One Nation, and that's at 2 p.m., and The Conversation is at 3:30. And, of course, Talk Show Divas at 4:30 on Sundays, and Talk Show Kings at 6:30. So, right before we went to break, we were just talking about the election and the results. But more importantly, we wanted to take a little time to focus on our VP.
Yeah.
You want to talk about that, Renee?
So excited.
So, what do you guys? How do you guys feel about having a woman of color here?
I think that we had a deep sigh of relief. It's like I just felt, just as a woman. Let's just talk about that first.
Okay.
Just as a woman,
Okay.
I'm looking at. I have two daughters. I have an older daughter and a younger daughter. But now they are living during a time when there is a woman, the first woman. First woman vice president of the United States. I think that just speaks volumes. That just blew the ceiling that we know that exists.
Yeah, it
it
did.
blew it away. And so for one fine moment during this whole pandemic and everything that's going on, I was just happy, like elated, like
Yeah.
thinking about the future, you know?
Yes, yes. And can I just add this too? A lot of people were saying this is the first time they were able to sleep last night. This morning I saw
I heard that
bunch
too.
of
Yeah.
to sleep in the past 4 years. I remember
Wow.
there was a company that I worked for, a high-level VP from a Latina background, right? She and I were crying the day after the election 4 years ago. I can imagine running into her if it wasn't for COVID. We'll be crying
A
or
different
a
type of
different
cry.
type of crying,
kind of crying,
right?
yeah.
So it's like, to me, it's a powerful thing that we have. I mean, I can't even speak the emotion that is coming over me. It's like the most powerful thing ever. I just felt like my spirit was just released and sobbed, and it was just like,
Wow.
not only was she a woman of color, black woman, but the fact of the matter, she had immigrant
Background.
parents who came to this country to better themselves, to educate themselves.
Yeah.
And let's just, regardless of whether we like her, okay, just look at the bigger picture of everything and how soothing it is to validate us as more than, and we were talking about earlier, that we are angry black women, that we are being over-sexualized. But for us to now being seen as smart, powerful, and beautiful,
Yeah.
all in one,
Yes, that's true.
because we either
And
had
the
to pick or
top one.
choose.
The top one
Yeah.
in our country.
We got a small taste of it when Michelle, her being the first
had a
lady.
huge
That's
We had
a
a
good
huge
idea.
taste when she
Right.
was.
Coming from
That's true.
Chicago, yay.
Yes, yes.
But this time to be in the position that Kamala Harris in, it's profound. It's profound.
And that,
really
and
is.
thanks to Joe Biden for doing that, because he could have elected or chose anyone.
That's true.
So I believe it was by design also.
It was
I
strategic.
believe knowing that he knew that if he got this powerful black
was
woman
gonna bring it home,
to be
yeah.
my running mate, that she was going to galvanize all of
Yeah.
the women, not even just black, but of different ethnicities to power in and make this happen. You know the little sticker they give you when you go and vote? You know what I'm saying? I'm a Georgia voter. I typically, look at it. I may put it on for a minute or
Yeah.
two, then I just throw it away.
Right.
But today when I was coming, right, I was cleaning out my purse and I saw that sticker. And I got really emotional about that little bitty sticker.
Yeah.
This time I'm not going to throw it away. I'm going to keep it because I'm going to keep it as one of my memoirs.
Yeah.
Because
Correct.
we actually, Georgia, we did this.
You
You know what I'm
did
saying?
it.
We
Yes.
did this.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's been a powerful moment.
Yes.
Watching her, yes, I'm happy for him, but watching her also gives, it just revitalized this energy that yes, we can. Whatever we want to do, whatever we set our minds to do, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because that's what we've been doing. We just have not been given that opportunity.
Well,
Right.
the ceiling is off.
That's
So-
right.
So now we
Yes.
have
Yeah.
to just, it made me feel like I need to do more.
That's correct.
It made me
Yes,
feel like as
yes.
an entrepreneur, as a woman,
Yes.
women in film or whatever,
Yeah.
where we're always still the minority. We need to do more. I
more.
mean, it's
That's
like,
true.
okay, what do we do to empower or bring up the next generation or motivate or galvanize? This is what can you
Encourage.
do to
Yes.
encourage?
So there was a quote that I saw on Twitter that they said, "Oh, the women wear your heels and break the glass ceiling."
Okay, baby.
Okay, let
All
me
right,
hear
there you
it.
go,
I'm telling you, yes,
Sorry.
yes, wear your heels and bust it down. And you know how many men? I have a friend. He's a male, and he's like, I love her. He's a Kappa, and he's like, she's an AKA, and that's my boo. I was like, so I joke him and say, that's your boo, right? Your boo did that. Did you hear her? He was like, she's so beautiful to me. She's so beautiful.
I have
She
to
is.
make a confession. I have mixed feelings when it comes to
Kamala.
VP Harris. I do. And that was based on her work in California. So I understand all of the joy about her being the first woman. I understand all the joy about her being the first woman of color. I cannot wait to see how she's going to operate, because that is where I was hesitant with this ticket. That's where I was hesitant with Joe Biden as well. I understand we're celebrating, but all of America isn't. Some people's pick didn't win. So, with that being said, I am really waiting to see what this administration is going to do that's going to be tangible for the people that brought it home for them.
It's going to be
Don't
great,
don't forget us come January 21st.
And that's why we're going to have to rely on us to
hold their feet
to the
Absolutely.
fire,
Yeah,
correct.
and also participate in the process more. I feel like we're more empowered to do so now, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And the simple fact too, the Black Caucus. Let's get more involved with that.
Yes, yes,
They have an
I agree.
agenda that they presented last year. They came up with this agenda. They presented it to the House. Now it's with the Senate to, to push our causes. But let me just say this. We got to look from a humanitarian perspective, what the country needs, right? Yes, Black people have been oppressed, no doubt. We have a long way to go. We got to make changes within ourselves, within our communities, therefore be more impactful in how we do things from a global perspective. We got to ensure that our monies and our stays in our community. We really need to
Absolutely.
understand that.
Absolutely.
And demand, no longer asking. I'm tired of asking.
I'm tired of asking.
It's
I'm not
time
the
to
asking type.
demand. Right. So,
Well, we have to
if they-
understand how to demand. And
How-
I
that
think
too.
with
That's-
us,
that
Yes.
too.
with especially here in Georgia, we can only work in our microcosm where we live, eat, and breathe. And we talking about the leader of the free world of the United States. They're way far away from what really impacts us on a day-to-day basis. What impacts us on a day-to-day basis is what happens in our schools, what happens with our
So
taxes.
you're talking about our local officials.
We're talking about local
Yeah.
policy. And until we as a community can understand these votes matter, your candidates matter on a local level
Correct.
first.
First.
Can I interrupt you?
Go ahead.
What people don't know about you, which I totally admire, I'm about to blow you up.
Don't.
Go ahead, blow.
This woman here is not only beautiful and smart, but she's so engaged with her children. She participates in the school board on a regular basis, not sometime,
PTA.
but I'm sorry,
Georgia
PTA.
PTA, yeah.
Yes,
I'm a
I got it
PTA.
wrong. Correction. I'm sorry, but that's how it starts. She takes time out of her very busy schedule. So
Yeah.
I just want to put that sidebar in
Okay.
there. Go ahead, please.
I have a question. Back in my day, all of the parents were involved in school. So when you say it like that, is that not the case anymore?
No.
It's not the case. Parent involvement right now, and this is throughout our district here in the surrounding area in Georgia, because I am a leader in PTA here in Georgia. It's down. We're experiencing like very low numbers of participation, and mainly due to COVID, mainly due to the policies of how children attain education right now. So the state is split up into people who educate their children in person during the pandemic, and then people like myself who my children are virtual because of health conditions of one of my children.
What was it like before COVID, though?
Before COVID,
that,
yes,
what was the level of
you had more participation
I'm sure,
because
yes.
you had more activities and lots of resources that parents need. But I think right now, parents across the United States are just burnt out completely.
I believe
You
that.
know,
I
and
believe
so
that too.
Yes. Organizations like PTA are trying to find ways to connect and ways to keep the value of PTA, where the parent and the teachers and the community join together and help parents during this time. It's a lot of parents that lost their jobs.
Yeah, of course.
Just it goes on, and it's very hard to educate children during this time during the pandemic. So it's a tough time. It's a tough time across the board. But local policy, that's what we were talking about, and I think we elected a lot of stellar leaders here in Georgia.
Yes, we
Not
did.
only the national election, the presidential election, but we elected in Cobb County. We elected our first African American sheriff.
Wonderful.
And it was other counties too
That's
throughout
amazing.
Georgia
Yeah,
that
DeKalb, too.
DeKalb, and then maybe
She's a female.
Yes, female.
Yes.
That's in DeKalb County. So it's. I think people are starting to see it, especially young people, that your vote does matter.
That's amazing to me that we're in 2020 and we're still talking about first. It just blows me away. Cobb County, I lived in Cobb County for almost 19 years.
Yes.
So for Atlanta to be so densely populated by people of color, why is this a first?
Because like you said, it's Atlanta, so that's a different county. So that's Fulton County.
Yeah.
Yeah, and some parts of DeKalb. So if you're speaking of
Cobb County.
Cobb
Cobb
County,
County.
you know what I'm saying, in other counties, that just goes out a little bit further, and so the target population changes as well in a lot of instances. So yes, but well, let me interject and say this though. I think that Joe Biden's his speech was powerful bipartisan speech.
It was.
You know, it was very bipartisan, and it really crossed over, you know, division of politics.
Yes.
And so to embrace everyone, and that's what we're looking for. When you snatch the soul out of a person and your soul doesn't matter, just my friends over here, then you leave us hopeless, you leave us destitute. And that's how the American people, I believe, really felt destitute. So for him to embrace everyone, you know, and especially, you know, he called out everybody that he was giving his shots out to.
Yes.
But he saved that one shout out for the African American. He was like, you all have my back.
Ooh.
You have my back, and I will never forget that.
Yes.
So we're going to wait and see what's going to happen
Yes.
with
Okay,
that
Joe,
powerful
I'm going to
moment.
save that clip.
Yes.
Save that clip.
Yes, I got it.
And we
Yes,
gonna replay
he
it.
said it.
I
Did you hear it?
Your word.
Did he
I
say it?
also too. Hey,
Yes, might get
every
some
time
questions.
something happens or does not happen, I'm gonna play that clip because right now we're looking at a level of accountability that we must have.
And
None of
yes.
this. Okay, they're in office, and then we go back to our regular lives.
we can't.
Because across the board, the wealth gap with blacks,
Yep.
entrepreneurship. So many of our people lost their businesses with this COVID.
Correct.
There's even been a study already that white businesses were funded more than black businesses.
That's
Yes.
true. Yes.
So the two of you, so playtime is over.
Yep.
As far as education, I do not want another high school child to walk across the stage and graduate and he's illiterate.
Yes.
That is
That
true.
is a problem.
So it's a good point that you just brought up a while ago. A lot of the major banks now having made commitments, long-term commitments to fund black-owned businesses. Citibank, J.P. Morgan Chase, Bank of America, to name a few, who are going to put billions of dollars in the next 5 to 10 years to support black businesses.
Fantastic.
Right? So it's like sometimes we
That's
think
awesome.
things should be political, but it should also be the private sector as well. I think that's critical.
Which also it intertwines and it's still political.
We're about to pay the bills, you guys. We'll be right back from a commercial break. We'll
Still
see
political.
you in 2 minutes
Yes.
or 2 seconds.
Welcome to Burke's Jewelry. How may I help you?
We're looking for engagement rings.
We offer a wide selection. However, I believe we have just what you're looking for. Burke's Jeweler is your family's jeweler at 491 Flat Shoals Avenue Southeast, Atlanta,
Find a
Georgia.
reliable source of CBD products. Introducing Holistic Wellness Boutique, a revolutionary collection of CBD tinctures, CBD topicals, CBD edibles, CBD pet products, and other relevant CBD products that help you incorporate CBD into your everyday lifestyle. The best part? Through our special Radiant Transformations program, Dr. Alea Daniel, PharmD, a well-regarded wellness coach, licensed pharmacist, and the mind behind the idea of Holistic Wellness Boutique, will also introduce you to a healthier lifestyle through proper education, nutrition, and a thorough medication evaluation to make the most of our exemplary CBD products. If you are struggling with a chronic condition, we can help you discover how to live a more holistic lifestyle through wellness coaching and the proper selection of hemp-derived CBD products. Visit holisticwellnessboutique.com to schedule a consultation or order an audacious combination of hemp-derived CBD products that will rejuvenate your mind, body, and spirit. Products.
Hi, I'm Harry Lennox, and you're watching TV 1061, your global network.
Hi, I'm Michael Kyle, your funniest man on the planet, and you're watching TV 1061, your global network. Stay tuned, because that's how they do it over here. Big time party! All right, see y'all later. Bye. Hi, I'm Michael. Kyle, you're funniest man.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Talk Show Divas, and we've been talking to you about the election results. So we've been having a lot of conversations. Something that's a big deal. We're waiting to see if we're going to impact the Senate, because as of right now, we're possibly going to have 2 runoff races.
We do have 2.
In January. Yeah, we have 2 in January to see if we can affect the Senate. They've been the one that have been blocking any bill for COVID relief or anything like that. What else is going on locally here in Georgia, or that's such a big deal right now?
I mean, all eyes is on Georgia right now.
Really?
So because the runoff will indicate whether or not the Republicans maintain their majority or the Democrats switch it over. So it's the bigger race, right? The tightest one is between Ossoff.
Yeah.
And what's his name? I don't like him too much. Perdue.
we need to get rid of Perdue.
Yeah. That's the
David Perdue.
tight one.
Yes.
Warnoff, right?
Warnoff.
And what's the other lady? Lessoff? Is it? How do you pronounce it?
yeah.
I'm sorry. I apologize.
That's okay. I
But
understand.
that one is a little bigger of a gap.
Yes.
But we still need to keep the pressure on, because the problem is we don't vote for
Local.
the runoffs.
Runoffs.
Yes.
That's true. Runoffs.
The runoffs, the masses don't go out. We have to still
So
show
we got
up.
to keep this.
Yeah.
We got to keep this.
Keep the
energy and
momentum
this
going.
momentum
Yes.
going,
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's true.
Do you guys think that we're celebrating a little too early?
Absolutely not.
You don't.
Absolutely
You guys,
not.
look, I have to tell
Absolutely
you,
not.
I just don't trust Trump. He is going to pull something out of his hat. I'm telling
But
you.
you know, overall, let me tell you, I don't trust him, but I trust God. There have never been that many people that have celebrated, not just in like dancing in the street. Never, ever has that happened, not just here in our country, but around the globe.
Yeah.
To see the people just excited, I mean, it's like, no.
What
no.
are we celebrating?
We're
You guys,
celebrating,
'cause that
he's
getting our
delivering
souls
office.
back.
I was
We're
talking
celebrating.
to a friend of mine, and he was like, "What is the celebration for? You traded one master for another."
And it's okay.
He said, "What is the celebration?
It's okay.
Wait.
You're not free."
Well,
hey,
listen. I have a saying.
That's going a little bit deep now.
Uh-huh.
It's going a little bit deep, but still.
What are you celebrating?
You're
We got a lot to
celebrating.
celebrate.
I mean, look at the past 4 years. The man mishandled. Let's just look at the beginning of this year. He mishandled the coronavirus completely. Completely. I don't care who you are. You look at the numbers and what he was doing. He said, "Oh, it doesn't exist. It's a Chinese disease." He could have shut down the borders. He could have put in some policies and procedures. He did it too late. It was too late.
And
If
then
a dog
how he did it was also horrific.
Yeah.
When he did it,
'Cause
and
he
was
targeted
taking those
the certain-
kids,
Yes.
the Hispanic children, and separate them from their parents, and put the kids in camps. You understand that there's still kids that are separated from their parents
Yeah.
to this very day, and they're misplaced.
Was that tied
So
to
all
the
of it.
immigration policy, or was that tied to COVID? That
was
wasn't
tied
tied to
to-
COVID.
yes,
that was
it was.
tied to
Well,
the immigration
I think
policy.
it was-
Yeah,
that
but it all ran
immigration.
together.
That was
But it ran,
immigration.
but it ran together as well too.
And then,
Did it?
yeah, they
They
let
ran together.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
because
I
it was
think it's
still
both.
during that time. Yes, they ran together.
I mean,
people were trying to leave.
It's the way the man handles his position.
Yes.
That's why he has to go. I understand what your friend said. What we celebrate? We're celebrating someone who can't. He's illiterate. He can't even read, and
tells a
he
lot of
has
lies.
no couth. He lies.
Oh, lies
he
viciously.
incites riots. He tells people to go out there and be violent.
He tells
That's
people to
what we're
stand by,
celebrating.
stand by, and stand down.
That's
Anybody
what we're
knows what
celebrating.
that
He
means,
is
right?
outta
But you
here.
guys,
Him.
Stand by and
Trump-
stand down. Come
Trump
on,
says what Democrats say. Trump says in public what other people say in private. So what are you mad about? That he had the nerve to
No,
say.
you know what?
Let me finish.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go for it.
That he had the balls enough to say how he really feels. Cause see, hey, I like a person like that. I like that.
No, he gotta go though.
No, go or not. But hey, I would rather someone I know firmly where they stand
Exactly.
than a person that is persuading me that they're in my corner and they're my ally, but at the same time they have a knife in my back.
I feel
Well,
you.
I do
And
not.
I'd like to see my and it's
I like to see
prefer
you
to see
square
my
on,
enemy come
right?
to me. You know,
I appreciate
having
that.
But you know what? It's to me, you're the leader of the free world. You just don't represent. Okay.
You're representing us just
You
totally.
represent both.
There was
the
an article
whole.
that I read,
Yes.
and in the article, what the woman was saying is, are we mad that it was someone that basically put up a mirror to the face of America, and we saw how ugly she really was, versus the one who doesn't want to use the mirror or acts like everything's okay, but in reality they feel the same way the other person does. That's what I'm saying. Because Trump,
Great point.
Trump did not create our schools.
No.
He did not create
But he didn't
our
help.
housing policy.
He didn't
He only
help.
had 4 years.
DeVoe, wait a minute now.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, exactly.
What I'm saying, redlining
Wait.
was happening way before Trump came.
Correct.
Yeah, yes.
Let's
But he did.
Let's
He
be
made
balanced
it
here.
worse with when he
Yes.
appointed DeVoe. I mean,
Yes.
her track record
Oh,
is
she's garbage.
Yes, that's what
I
I'm
get
saying.
that.
that's what we're talking about.
Wait,
policy.
that's what we're
And we're
talking
talking
about.
about- and he's
I am talking
garbage.
about policy too.
Yes.
Bush enacted No Child Be Left Behind.
Correct.
That was the worst
Terrible
policy.
Terrible.
Yes.
I agree.
So again, Trump didn't create these problems that we have. He just put some
But
gas on
let
the
me
fire.
tell you what else we're celebrating, right? 74 million voters. Record number. Never happened
In the
before.
history.
That's a
Of
celebration.
voting.
That's great. That's
Another
wonderful.
celebration is that
Kamala.
Kamala. Another celebration, Stacey Abrams, 800,000 new voters in the state of Georgia. Those people who never voted before voted for the first time.
First time.
That's the celebration.
Turning the state
Not
blue.
so much so the fact of
Yes.
Biden and Trump. It's the things that happen.
You guys, I don't like that black people get enthralled with optics. Don't play me. That's just me. Don't play me.
Okay.
I don't like how if it looks right or you sound right, you can pick my pocket.
No.
No. So what I'm saying right now is this. Everybody's like, okay, all these life-changing things have happened. I want to see them get in there and do the right thing. And again,
Yeah,
we
of
never
course.
had a chance to give them our list of ask because we were talking about Ice Cube wanted to meet with the Democrats and they said after the election, and his list was his whole thing was the
Right.
agenda for Black America.
Well, the
Right.
Black Caucus has a list.
The
That's
Black
what I was
Caucus has
mentioning.
been around
on this too.
how long?
They had
How
the,
long?
they had the list, and the
I know where you're
hold up
going.
is. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I've been running my mouth most of the time. So
Look, I feel you, Tamar. I know where you're going with when she says the Black Caucus.
The trust is just gone.
The trust factor with black people who are voting today, I think the Black Caucus may be way out of touch
Yes.
and needs to be revitalized,
Yes.
revitalized because
Yes.
I don't think they're in touch with today's voter. And I think across the board,
I agree
if
with
we,
that.
when we're
You're
thinking
absolutely
about,
right.
when-
That's what I'm saying.
we definitely have our own opinions. We have who we like and what we like, and we can agree to disagree. But what we need to do is make sure that your vote impacts your day to day.
Yes.
So
I want to feel
think
it in my pocket.
Yes, I want to feel it in my pocket. I want to see it at my schools. I
yes.
want to see it in my taxes that I pay.
Exactly.
And I think that
Infrastructure.
is something that, regardless of racism in this country, regardless of bipartisan, if you're Republican, Independent, or Democrat, I think
whatever.
those things are innately what
Yeah.
every American wants. They want great schools if they
Great
choose
healthcare.
great health care. They want to be able to pay affordable taxes. They want wage gaps decrease and they make what their value is,
Yeah.
to society.
Yeah.
That crosses any demographic, whether you're an immigrant,
Doesn't
whether
matter.
you
That's
are
true.
They get it.
I think that is the goal, that even though we definitely have our views about, the election, I think that's what we need to focus on, making what we want trickle up to the presidential race. Because right now, I'm just going to focus locally. That's what I want to do. I want to see what
We need to do
impact is going to happen locally for us. And then, the presidential thing
because you're
is,
right.
is later.
I think the local and state government is what directly impacts us
Correct.
on a day-to-day.
Yeah.
That's important. And I think this election year, people paid more attention. That's also
did.
part of the celebration,
did.
is that people were able to see the process actually could possibly work for me. It's organizing and saying, oh, okay, so me sitting on the sideline complaining about it, or actually doing something about it, participating in the process to create the change, right? This
I
is
agree.
the holding the foot to the fire.
I agree.
So once now you're educated, do something about it.
Because when we went through the same haze of joy with President Obama.
Correct.
Not one term, but two.
Correct.
And our plate was left empty.
So we.
She wants you to pause on
No,
that.
but listen. I understand what you're saying. That's then. This is a new day, new dawn. Create
History's
a new table.
relevant, Roselle. History
Yes,
is
but then
relevant.
you gotta
History
move
on.
on.
Let
You
me-
gotta
let-
leave that
But you
alone.
also have to
Move
look
on.
at what
But
he
no,
inherited
no,
also.
no.
He
Well, he
inherited a mess.
inherited a complete mess. So you can't put that on. That's just like me coming into your house and it's totally
One term.
destroyed.
One term.
And I'm supposed to walk in here and put everything back in order. According to what you're telling me and what this person's telling me, and I'm trying to put it all back in order. And
Yes.
for some reason, you have all these different people in your ear. I don't like that over there. Put that over there. And you're trying to do that.
Clean up 400 years in
Thank
8
you.
years?
Thank
That's
you.
not
It's
possible.
impossible.
Stop. I think
you know. So what?
I
my
disagree
thing
with
is
that.
what he did do was what he could do. That's how I feel.
We're having a really heated debate here about elections and politicians being held to the fire. Make sure that you hold your politician
Look,
to the
I'm doing too
fire.
much in my
And
head.
we're glad you guys were here with us today.